Call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Emery Fulham is absent. Ed Moore,
Here.
Mark Schiffer,
Here.
Anthony Tattaglia.
Here.
Thomas Kerr.
Here.
Everyone's present.
Okay. Our first order of business, reading your minutes, please. I'm sorry.
Make a motion that the minutes be approved as submitted.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So move. First order of business, I'd like to have a taxi hearing. Sarge, who do we have?
You have Renee V. Israel.
Are you here? Can you come forward?
Irizarry.
Good.
Irizarry. Irizarry.
Sarge will tell you the reasons why your license was denied.
The application for the license was denied based on the fact that she filled out the application in reference to obtaining a driver's transport for hire license. While she did that, she also submitted a criminal history check. On the application itself, it says, have you ever been convicted of a felony, misdemeanor, or violation of any municipality or other local law? She answered no on this. This is a sworn document. She did sign and date this document on April 5th, 2019, and it was notarized. That is punishable because this is false and misleading by a Class A misdemeanor pursuant to 210-45 of the penal law. If the town wishes to go forward with the falsification of the application, I'll assist them with that. That being said, she was convicted of not one but two separate incidents in the past when she indicated no. Those two separate incidences was one in March 2010 of operating a motor vehicle while intoxicated, and the second time, the first time was actually in March 2005, driving while immobility impaired by alcohol. Those two crimes, the convictions did appear on her criminal history check.
What was the date of the first one?
The first one was 2005, the second one was 2010. So, and then again, the reason the application was denied is due to the fact that this is a sworn document in reference to the fact that everything on here has to be true and accurate, and it was not.
You heard the,
Yes, I'm familiar with it. I thought it was 7 years. That's what I was filling out applications for other jobs, and everyone asks for 7 years. So I was filling it out, and I knew of it. It's
okay.
15 years and 10 years ago, so I wasn't thinking that I was still having to carry that.
Now, what is it, 10 years on the?
It's, her last conviction was 10 years ago, the other one was 15 years ago, but
Right.
the application itself says, have you ever
Right,
been convicted?
Oh, okay.
Keyword being ever.
yes. I thought it
Dewey
was
follows you
7.
forever.
I'm sorry?
A Dewey follows you forever.
Okay.
The only thing that changes, which may have been of confusion, is the fact that she can't be charged with a felony if she gets arrested for a DWI again.
Right,
That's the
Right.
only thing that changes.
right, but the application was falsified.
The application was falsified, and which is, and notarized, which is punishable by 210-45 of the penal law. Again, if the town board wishes to pursue that, I'll help them with that.
Okay.
Have you done anything since then, after those convictions?
No,
Have you done any?
no, and nothing else came up when they
anything
did
else?
that.
But what I meant was, did you go through any rehab program, or did you?
10 years ago and 15 years
Yes.
ago? Yes.
Yes, you did.
Did everything, jumped through all the hoops that they required.
Okay,
May I ask a question?
go ahead.
Did you obtain a certificate of relief from civil disabilities after either one or both of these convictions?
I don't even know what that is, so I guess the answer would be no, because I don't know what that is.
A certificate of relief from civil disability is a document that you could obtain from a judge of the sentencing court that states that you will no longer be suffering from civil disabilities, meaning if it was a felony, you'd be able to vote again. If it's a license application, you could submit that, and that would pretty much get you through.
So again, I guess the
And
answer
in
is
fact,
no.
that's also laid out
I didn't know what
in
that
the
was.
taxi licensing law, section 299-24. It states that anyone convicted of a crime described herein who has received a certificate of relief from civil disabilities regarding said conviction issued by a court of competent jurisdiction will not be subject to disapproval, suspension, or revocation based on said conviction after review and determination by the clerk that the crime will not endanger the health, safety, and welfare of the residents of the town of Southampton.
Can she still get that?
Sure.
How would she go about doing it?
Do I need that?
Should she apply for that?
Well,
I mean,
that's up to the board here. I'm just saying that's something that, if you had that, a license application cannot be denied based upon the underlying convictions. Now, this conviction here, or this denial was based not so much upon the convictions themselves, but upon the falsification of the application. It could have been denied for that, but it was not. So I'd leave that to the discretion of the board.
But it was denied because she does not have that.
No, it was denied because I made a mistake.
It was denied because she did not disclose the 2 prior drug while intoxicated
Right,
convictions.
which the application is falsified. So,
I'd like to make a motion maybe then that we ask that you resubmit a new application. Is that fair?
A new application with everything disclosed.
we have a
on-
motion, wait, hold on, you're making a motion that she reapply with a new application?
Yeah, disclosing everything.
Well,
And then we can
okay,
act on that application, or we can act on this application.
well, she has to reapply to the town clerk.
Right.
So do I have to do everything?
She has to reapply
Fingerprints and
to,
everything?
she has to
Clarify,
reapply
this
to
is an
the town
appeal of
clerk.
denial. Is that
This is,
correct?
this is an
Today?
appeal. We have to make a
Oh, I see.
decision.
All right. So,
She's appealing to us. We deny the license, and then she can reapply. That's up to us.
then I'll make the motion that we grant the license.
If you're not granted the license, then the proper motion would be that you are denying the appeal.
Are we
Say again?
granting the appeal?
Then if you are not granting the license now, you are either granting the appeal or denying the appeal, because we're on appeal proceeding right now.
Either granting it or denying
A
it.
motion to deny the appeal.
Motion to.
I'll make a motion to grant the appeal.
We
Well,
have two, we have
we
two
can't-
motions
we have
on the
two
table.
motions.
We have to follow
I
up
need
with
one
the orders,
motion.
Mr. Shepherd. First
Do I have,
motion
I have
was to deny
a,
the.
you have a motion
Neither
to,
one of them seconded.
I have a
Is there-
motion to deny the appeal?
Motion to deny the appeal and have the applicant reapply.
Do I have a second on that? If not, motion is denied.
Now I'd like to make a motion to grant the appeal.
I have a second.
Second.
Second by Tom. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Opposed.
Opposed. So approved. We
Thank you.
granted the appeal.
That was 3-4-1 against? 3 in favor of
Three in
granting the
favor.
appeal and 1 against granting the
One
appeal.
against.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sarge.
What do I do next?
Well,
Sounds like you go drive a taxi.
does she have to,
No, well,
Does she
we're-
have to-
Wait till I
does she have to
notify
change
town
the
clerk.
application?
I'll send out the proper paperwork, and then they will
Oh.
notify you.
No, you
I'm a
accepted
Jew.
it. You just took it in.
thank you.
You granted the appeal. so
Right,
you
we
Thank you
granted
very
it.
much.
In reference to the misdemeanor charge of falsifying the application,
That's,
nobody wants to do anything? All right.
no,
Thank you.
thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you.
We call, talk to you about the,
Yep, he said.
Okay. Okay, let's move on. I think our next hearing that we have is, that we're reopening, is the Michael Davis one, and I just want to get that out of the way, so I'll leave. You guys, Tom, you're in charge.
Welcome.
There's too many people that want to keep waiting.
Morning. It is our understanding that the building inspector is scheduled for the end of July for the electrical and any building issues.
I believe for the electrical, yes. I think there's a re-inspection for the 12th.
All right, well, I don't want to hear any further testimony today until we have those reports.
I couldn't hear, I'm sorry, sir.
I don't want to have any testimony today in regards to this until we have those reports in hand. Because I think we'd just be going around the same thing that we've been talking about for the last several months. If we have the inspection reports and they're definitive, and we can say, yes, it's been approved, no, it's not been approved, these are the issues, and we can make a decision at that point.
There is a problem because there is ongoing discovery of defective conditions that are exposed during opening of things to correct the violations that have already been observed.
Right, but I think that what Mr. Kerr is saying is that we would like to table this matter until we get the reports from both the electrical inspector and the building inspector. And then at that point, we will be making a decision. You know, we understand the disagreements between the two parties. We understand it's not really our
Is it
role
this-
to
is it a
be-
decision that that work has been performed, or is it a decision with respect to what I believe the original complaint was, with respect to the suspension of the license? Because rather there was work that was done, that's clear, the evidence is there. There was work that was done that was a violation that was found by Mr. Woodsma and also found by the electrical inspector. And I thought the point of this hearing was that based upon that, based upon work that wasn't done being concealed, if that represents the actions of a contractor, appropriate conduct of a contractor that's bearing a license from the town of Southampton. I thought that's what the review was for here. Not that we're checking off some sort of a list of work getting done.
I'm sorry, I missed your,
I may be-
I missed your point, exactly.
It's a hearing
me
to
to
have whether the
respond, sir?
license suspended. Is what I'm just, let me finish. A hearing of whether the license should be suspended for what was done at the residence, for the work that was done. As a licensed contractor, what standard he is held to, that contractor. And if work was not done and work was concealed and work was not done up to code and the complainant paid for it, and representations were made that it was performed, right? Should that type of person have the license, or that type of company have their license suspended or not? That's what it's about.
Well, that's-
Here, I think it's turned into saying, all right, let's take another chance and push it off for another month to see if you can get some more work done in there. It's not here to go through what's being identified as a punch list. It's here that, with respect is, as a contractor, someone that is representing that if you give me a license to town of Southampton, I will properly perform to the standards that you require. And when it's established that the work was against the code, that work was concealed, that was represented as being done, wasn't done, and that walls were put up to conceal the barrenness of the work, and is the question then, you're looking and saying, that's okay with us, the town of Southampton. That's okay with the town license and review board. We don't mind conduct like that. That license can stay in place. Because what it looks like here is that what we're doing is pulling it across, keep on pulling it across until we get Michael Davis contracting across the finish line, and you can say to yourself, we're not going to suspend the license. Because that's what it appears to me what's happening here. And I don't think that's what the complaint was about, and I don't think that's appropriate.
I don't think that it's at all this. I don't think that.
Oh,
I think that we just
I
want to
clearly
have
disagree.
the reports from the electrical inspector and from the building inspector before making a further decision. That
I think-
any decision is possible.
There are significant problems in my home that need to be corrected. It's not clear that Michael Davis Construction is going to properly correct those areas of work. I encourage each of you, I would welcome each of you to please come to my home before advising such a poor decision as to have someone who clearly does not do the right work and is not asking people to see clear defective work that they know that they performed. I mean, I sent an email. I would like to, if you would please, I would like you to read you the email that I sent this morning, which concluded with, please also be advised that additional defective work was newly exposed on Monday at the gym bathroom steam shower following sheetrock removal by NBC. Waterproofing is absent and significant leakage from numerous points was demonstrated to your employees. If you could just see that condition, if you could see that there are studs that are fully, that the middle of the stud is removed, and on the other side of that wall, there are cabinets that hang from those walls where 3 studs across have been removed. Someone needs to, someone who has standards needs to be able to, dictate what work is going to be corrected and what's not. This is unsustainable that someone who has a documented record for performing improper work is in my home still not properly correcting work. There is no building permit. We have no contract. I mean, this is, why would you ask, why are you asking us to do this? This is a liability for all parties, to have someone who does not perform proper workmanship. It is so clear. Like, please come and see, now that things are open. You came to my home, but I didn't have things open. I had pictures to show you, many pictures from my original complaint. Some of those areas are open. And additional areas are open as well. These people are not attempting to correct their defective work throughout my house. They're not. They're just trying to correct it in a few places and check off some boxes. Towards what end is that? What's being achieved here, other than you being able to have an excuse to say, oh, well, you performed what we asked you to do? I don't really see how that's okay. This is someone who has represented himself to be a master builder. Please look at how deficient the work is that was performed and concealed in my home. It's
So I think that here you are.
negligent and
No,
fraudulent.
no, let me- I think that here you are even reinforcing what we're saying, because the person who is going to make any determination on the quality or the code compliance of the work that has been opened is the building.
licensed
is- no,
professional.
Is the building inspector. So that's why we are asking that we will be waiting for the report from the electrical inspector and the building inspector before making a decision. But we do not wish, we understand that the two of you have issues, that you don't see things eye to eye, and there is a dispute. But here in our case, we would like to reserve our decision until we get the reports from the electrical inspector and the building inspector.
A building inspector has no liability. An architect needs to, it isn't okay for you to ask that I open my door to a contractor to perform work that they will not disclose. If you look at the emails that they have sent, I asked specifically for information and documentation about what work they were going to do, means and methods. How are you correcting these things? So someone could review it and okay it and say that that's okay. That's not the building inspector's job to say, how they were supposed to perform the work in my home. I mean, why would that be the building inspector's role to say that? I mean, code compliance, that's the base minimum of this complaint. This complaint was about a renovation of $4.2 million that was the whole house. It wasn't just the exterior insulation in the exterior envelope. There's plenty of other defective work that isn't necessarily covered by code violations.
If I just may be heard, please.
Go
I
ahead.
haven't been heard yet, and they've spoken for a while. Do we have an order from here dated January 17th that requires that we have an inspection performed by the village and an electrical inspection performed by the town? We're complying with that in order to fulfill that. They've not appealed that. They've not challenged that. And so what I'm hearing now is that they're trying to now challenge that process. Just addressing a few things as to the work. This is a license review board hearing, but that license also is a property right that is owned by Mr. Davis. And there is something in this country called the Fifth Amendment. And the Fifth Amendment requires that you're given notice of any time that a government is going to take action to take away your property right. And so when we speak to things that have not been alleged, have not been uncovered, we're talking about things that we have not been given notice of to have a hearing on here, and we cannot be found, these are outside the scope of this hearing. What's inside the scope of this hearing is what was on Mr. Woodsma's list in his letter of April 8th, and what was done with the electrical subcontractor. Now, with respect to the work that's been performed, now we've sent
a new project manager. His name is Jim Tillman, and Jim Tillman used to work for Ben Kropinski Builders. Ben Kropinski Builders is also a pretty well-known businessman, builder out on the East End, and Mr. Tillman has been the one leading this. And again, we're finding, there's allegations that Mr. Tillman now is apparently not capable enough, and he's also, even though he was never employed by Michael Davis during the time this project occurred, now Mr. Tillman is suddenly a part of this grand fraud. But the problem we also have run into is that yesterday, Mrs. Littman brought in a contractor to open up areas that, number one, areas that we had performed work and completed the work that Mr. Woodsman said were completed. And number two, they're speaking to things outside the scope. Ultimately, listen, I think that the work's being done. Mr. Woodsman is going to inspect it. Mr. Davis has agreed to perform the work pursuant to this board's order. I agree with the recommendation. I think that the board should put it over to the next hearing. And also, just as a point of procedure, I have the letter dated June 13th from this board that says, on June 12, 2019, the License Review Board members have given 129 Parsonage Lane and Michael Davis a final extension of 30 days. That extension doesn't even run until Friday, so technically, there's no action that can be taken anyway because you've granted an extension that will run until the next board hearing. So with that, I think that the recommendation that we wait until Mr. Woodsman's inspection and we're waiting for the electrical inspection is the proper way to go forward. And we've committed to get the work done, and they said they'd do it, and they've actually gone above and beyond getting the work done.
Have you done any work in the last 30 days since our last meeting? Has any
Yes.
work been done?
Yes, I have with me, I could provide, we have daily reports of pictures of work that's been done.
I can say that there's been over 400 hours of work done, excluding subcontractor work. The only delay we've had was a week, as you know, of wet weather that prevented us from opening up outside, anything on the outside.
And now, do you still have more work you want to do? You have an agenda of more work that you want to perform
Totally.
in the next?
We've been given a list by Mr. Woodsman. I'm a little distressed that without any notice, another contractor comes in and starts tearing not any work that we have completed and approved by Mr. Woodsman, but has opened it up yet again. I'm not sure that anything untoward was found, plus additional things which were outside the scope of our work. And are we meant to be putting together everything that Mrs. Littman decides she wants to tear off her house and have a look? This was not a total renovation. The roof is rotten. It was rotten 6 months ago. It's still rotten. I can't get anybody to go up on the roof, okay? Nothing was done to the outside skin of the house. How do you spend $4.2 million without taking care of the outside skin of the house, okay? But anyway, this is not part of the discussion. I would ask the board to allow us to fulfill what we've been asked to do. The only thing that I'm concerned about is now that she's tearing the house apart, are we meant to be putting together the things that her contractor is pulling apart? I think that that's her responsibility.
Okay. Okay, I think that, let's wait until we get the reports from...
May I just say, first of all, what at issue isn't what work that wasn't done, it's the work, the $4.2 million of alleged proper work that was done. And what the standard should be is not, you didn't catch me get away with this, you didn't open up this wall and there's stuff behind it, is that when someone puts trust in the contractor, and that trust, okay, is validated by the town of Southampton by providing a license, saying you must live up to these standards, that the standards of work have to comply with that. The admission right here, which I'm glad to hear that over 400 hours are being put in for corrective work, in and of itself shows that the work that was there was not proper. And we've seen photographs. And again, this is going back to not, all right, let's identify something and it's identified, he has to correct it. It's the fact that initially all of this should have been complied with. There should not have been any finding of violations. If everything was properly done, Mr. Woodsman would not have found any violations. If everything was properly done, the electrical inspector would not have found any violations. But they did. And they only did that after this complaint was filed. And the complaint is against someone who's representing themselves to the community as a master builder, as a home improvement contractor, that has a license that is issued by the town of Southampton. And we think that's inappropriate.
He issued a signed 2-year warranty on the work. I can read you an excerpt from an email that I wrote in 2016, talking about missing insulation, some of the very same issues that are identified by Mr. Woodsma's inspection. This is not new information that's been exposed or uncovered. This is information that Michael Davis was very well aware of. And so, and as far as talking about work that had to be reopened, I don't see why it would be appropriate for anyone to perform work on my home, close up work without without myself or anyone who works for me actually seeing it. Just, some deal, builder to inspector, like that isn't okay, especially after what we have been put through. It's not okay. And one of the things that was removed and work that was opened yesterday, because it was sealed up already, showed a condition that, according to Mr. Davis's company's report, which they issued last week, as well as Mr. Woodsma's report, it said was completed. But what I knew was that it had already been sealed up prior to Mr. Woodsma's inspection, because I have pictures of that area of wood paneling sealed up already prior to his inspection, and I knew that it had not been opened. And when we opened it, lo and behold, the work was not done. And so that is one of the issues that needs to be clarified with Mr. Woodsma before anything can go forward. I mean, to say that something is complete.
This is just a generalized allegation of, what area are you speaking to?
No, I can tell you specifically exactly what it was. It was the,
Shepard, I have to interrupt at this point.
Yeah.
You say there's going to be no testimony. This has turned into another argument. Nobody's sworn in. You already made your decision before.
I'm happy to swear in.
I'm talking now.
I think that we don't want to, what's happening right now, we're not going through, you made your point, the complaint is clear, they made their points. I think that here, what we would like to do, we want to wait until we get the reports from the electrical inspector and the building inspector before we make a decision.
I'm not sure whether whether this board has received the interim report from John Woodsma
Mr.
that was
Shepard, I
already
recommend you make a
issued.
motion at this point.
But there was an interim report that was already issued. Have you received that?
Ma'am, it's not for you to question the board. Mr. Shepard?
I think that in this case, we would like to close the hearing and,
You making a motion?
Yeah, making a motion that we will table any decision on this matter until we receive the electrical inspector's report and John Woodsma's final report.
Then you're going to schedule for us to come back?
At that point, we'll make a decision.
Yes.
Make a schedule for us to come back.
No, I think that we have all the elements, we understand.
So I just,
I recommend a motion and a vote.
I'm looking for
We have
some
a motion on
clarification
the
about
board,
something.
excuse me, we have a motion on the board to adjourn this case until the next meeting, when we have in our hands the electrical and the building inspector's report, and any other issues that you may have at that point, and we will then make a decision. And you're welcome to come to the hearing. What is it?
A second on the motion.
A second? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Put myself on the floor. Those nails are sticking out. See those nails?
I didn't see nothing.
No, right there.
Okay. Sounds
Okay.
been notified. You can start your
Yes.
voice.
Okay, next order of business we have.
What's with this closed hearing from Big Hampton?
Oh, you here for a reason?
Yes, we got our licensing denied.
Oh, you got it denied?
Yeah, it was,
Previously not approved.
Who?
We have 3 previously not approved. He's Perez and Sun Corp. Do you want to finish the PIO, close out you're still in the closed hearings, waiting motions section?
Why don't we go with the people that are here?
You want to
Yeah.
go? It's great. They're Perez. You have the package in front of you.
This,
They're not approved?
this one?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I thought that was only, what's the name?
No.
Sorry,
3 in there.
sorry, there's 3 of them in there.
Okay. We
Mr.
have Perez and
Perez,
Sun Corp.
Mr.
Best Modular
Perez.
and Right Angle Building.
Mr. Perez. And why were we deny him? Why did we deny him?
Don't remember.
Don't remember. Okay. That's what, go ahead. You want to look back?
There should be a letter that would explain why.
Okay.
There probably was a judgment.
yeah, I believe so. There was a
Judgment.
judgment against, because, and,
This one, back. That's,
Did I send you a copy of the judgment?
yeah, you sent us all these.
You might want to let them take a quick look at it to refresh their memory. Thank you. It should be with the application.
These are judgment results right there.
what's the judgments? Let me see. I'll let you look.
Okay.
Commission in the state. Now you can look. Have you cleared any of those judgments up?
We weren't notified about any of those as far as, because we applied for another license before and they were submitted to us and we got it right away because before it was a DBA and we got that license approved and now we try to go ahead with the corporation and that's when we got hit with this problem. So we're quite unclear where the judgments were made or maybe it's based off of the name.
But do you have workers' compensation insurance right now?
Yeah, we have the workers' comp, we have the liability. I don't have any copies of those on me right now, but we have both.
The workers' comp and the liability is in the application.
It's in the application, we have them.
No, but it is workers' comp insurance,
Yeah, but that, from when? What's the date? 14,
2014.
2014. They wouldn't. Suffolk County Department of Social Services. What is that?
I have no idea.
$12,000 judgment?
No clue what
Child
that is.
support?
Child support?
No child support.
You
I'm
don't-
his only son, and he's been taking care of me ever since I was born.
Okay.
So I don't see where that would come in place.
Okay,
Yeah, but there's a judgment for $12,000.
yeah, okay. You should check into those judgments. I don't see any problem with the application. Check into those judgments. There's no construction judgments or nothing. We'll move on this license
All right.
as soon as we continue our meeting, okay?
Perfect. Thank
You
you.
answered our questions. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Right Angle
Wanna
Builders.
keep-
Sure. Thank you.
Not approved. Is this judgments also?
No, I believe you had an issue, driver's license, pictures, questions on how the application looks.
We have a picture of them.
Oh, that picture.
The driver's license. Yeah, it looks younger.
Yeah.
What happened?
I'm trying to spend my youth a little bit. It's not working.
I see. I think this was one of the issues that we,
You're the one that picked that one.
yeah, we didn't recognize.
We didn't recognize it.
Should I shave? I can go shave the beard if you'd like, gentlemen. Helps a little bit.
So you're Maxwell,
Yes, sir.
otherwise,
Didn't look like it at all.
Do you have a driver's license on you, sir?
I do. It's the same one in that picture.
Okay.
It's the same ID that I took a photocopy of.
okay.
I was 17. I'm 36 now.
Oh, they kept the same picture?
Yeah, no
Didn't
one's
take a
ever-
new picture of you?
When they ask, I usually say no. I kind of like the youthfulness. But
Took a new picture of me, I don't know. I wasn't my license.
Yeah, me too.
Okay,
All right.
okay. We just want to make sure it was you.
me,
Okay.
give me my social if you like.
Thank you for coming in.
All set.
Thank you.
We'll again make a decision. Okay.
Are you here for?
License, contracting license, Steiber is the last name,
Let's
STE.
put this modular sales.
Right.
Okay, just a new application?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move forward. How we,
Would
how
like to
we,
make a decision on Best Modular Sales, Inc.?
we haven't done those yet. I'm gonna,
That's in the,
No,
is those the ones
that's
we're
in the
not
that's in the special, yeah, I want,
Okay.
I was gonna wait to see if they finished the other ones, and then we're gonna move forward. Before we do anything on licenses, we have a complaint here on new construction. I'd make a recommendation, we deny hearing the complaint. It's on new construction, and send it back to the county. We have no jurisdiction in it. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Oh, wait a minute, can I have a discussion? I just want to make sure that, make the motion with caveat that Maylene verifies that it is indeed a brand-new construction.
Maylene already verified it to
And that
us.
the permit was issued as such,
She already verified that it is new construction.
100%.
She works in the building department, she's there, she
She's
sees it.
Canadian.
Okay,
Okay.
Can I have a second?
I got a motion,
I'll
Second.
second.
second, all in favor, aye, so moved. That's it. Sent back to the county, okay. Now we're on to licensing. We have an application here that we asked him to come in, Best Modular Homes. He did not come in, so I make a motion, we disapprove his license and send it back to him.
Maylin, is
His
there
application, I'm
is there any
sorry.
correspondence from Best Modular or John
No,
DeStefano?
we called him twice, this is the second time. I make a motion,
You can't make a motion, can
yeah, I can make a motion.
you? Okay.
I'm part of the board, right? I can make a motion. Not good practice, but
I'll make a
will-
motion that we
I will
deny
make the
his
motion.
application.
sorry, who makes the motion? I'll make the motion.
go ahead.
Tom just made a motion. to
Oh,
deny
Tom's
the
made a motion.
Tom made the motion, second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, so move. I will not make a motion anymore. I could make a motion, but it's not. Okay, that. I'd like to get a motion on the other two applicants that came in,
No, these are the ones that for us to,
that just came in.
no, that, for them to come in to see us.
Oh, I'm sorry, where are the ones? Oh, I'd like to get a motion on the two applicants that just came in before
Rice
us.
and Sons and Right Angle Builders.
Right.
I make a motion that we approve both the licenses.
Second?
Second, Mark?
You want
Second?
second? You'll second.
All in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
All opposed, so moved. They're approved. Motion on new applications.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, Mac has two.
two for them to come in to call.
Can I have the application number and the business name for record?
Application number is 150, and it's Anytime Construction, Anytime Inc. And the other one is 152, Adolfo Barreto, DBA Banana.
Boy, that sounds like a,
Yeah,
can't say.
Do you want to let me know the reason for not approving it, so I can...
no, for them to come in to explain.
Explain what?
There's one, there's judgment, outstanding judgment.
Both of them?
That's it.
Bless you. Judgments on which one, please?
Well, the first one,
So Anytime Construction?
anytime construction, yes. That's, I'm just looking at the judgments. Come on, where's the judgments?
Yes.
The
People
DBA
in New
banana
York is-
fence and landscaping, the reason for not approving?
Well,
People of the state of New York, Rich.
It's a criminal charge then?
Sounds like child support, yep.
No, it's people is generally going to be, that's probably going to be a criminal charge.
Oh.
See it?
and this one, if the temporary visitor expired,
Visitor expired.
It's in the name of the people, it's
Oh,
probably
okay.
a fine that was
Yes,
not
come in.
paid
Yeah,
for a
come
criminal
in.
violation. of
Is
a
it
traffic
currently
violation.
expired?
Excuse me?
It's
This
cur-
means there was a
It's
fine that wasn't
expired.
paid for a criminal or a traffic violation, that would be
Expired.
in the name of the people. That's not a traffic.
Visitors, temporary visitor.
Okay, now,
Has expired.
Mac,
So he has an outstanding judgment against.
you're gonna call these guys in, this is traffic violations. We-
Either traffic or criminal, I would just say it's a criminal violation. That's most likely what it is, if it's in the name of the people, that's what
Fine.
it is.
Call this guy in anytime.
Okay, so.
I mean, I don't know what the criminal violation is, but we call him in. Okay. Okay, 2 denies. What's your pleasure on the rest of them? I
Make a
guess,
motion may be accepted as submitted.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So moved. Home improvement renewal applications. What's your pleasure? There's 48 of them.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? So moved. 1 new plumbing registration. Your pleasure?
Approved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, so move. 3 plumbing renewal applications. What's your pleasure?
Motion to approve.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, so move. Motion to adjourn?
Anthony, before
What?
we adjourn, we still have one hearing, closed hearing that we're waiting. It's Liz Pio, Vic Hampton.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, you're right. I apologize.
Thank you.
Wasn't that the one that they were supposed to lawyer, we gave the lawyer the address, the phone
He
number?
was given her a new phone number. We have not heard from either party in reference to any settlement.
I think I'm the only person that had contact with Ms. Pio when she came into justice court as a defendant for a case that I was prosecuting, and she said that she would not be showing up here.
She did not,
She told
what?
me she would not be showing up here.
Okay,
Okay, by
So what's-
recommendation, I make a motion that we dismiss the case.
a motion to dismiss the case,
Second it.
no action taken.
No action taken on it.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
I'll abstain.
What was that?
He abstained.
Who abstained?
I abstain.
Mac,
So it's 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, approved.
Three approved.
Okay,
Three approved.
so dismiss the case.
There's a new act.
I get a motion to adjourn,
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, so move. Let me have your cards.
Gavel.
Oh, gavel.